Coming this fall, the story of a grape who refuses to be crushed. One grape to rule them all, and one bottle to bind.
Whoa, honey, what are you doing?
I was recording an intro.
Okay, that's great, but we got a podcast to do.
Okay.
All right, well, this is We Know Texas Vino.
Well, welcome back, everybody. This is We Know Texas Vino, and I hope y'all really enjoyed that first segment because that was a really good segment about Jenn and about the Texas wine industry and just understanding everything about it. And so sitting here is still Jenn, and we still have Randall here. So we're going to actually do a blind tasting here. So Jenn, if you'll take it away and explain to everybody how this is going to work.
Sure. So what we have in front of us, and we'll take some photos and everything to show y'all so you can see what we're doing. We have 4 glasses in front of you. Now, I have purchased the wine. I know what's in the wine, but I do not know what's in the bag because I did close my eyes, pick out a bag, and threw it in. And so I mix them all around. So I do not know which bag belongs to which wine. So at the end, we will find out what it is.
So you said you know what's in the wine.
Well, I mean, like I know what wine I picked. Now, I might be doing a little bit of blasphemy, but I have a reason behind my madness. So today I picked out grapes that grow in Texas, but they're not from Texas. They're actually from the original places that these origins. So these are the origin story of these vines. Okay. I will tell you what we have, and what we'll do is we'll guess at the very end too. So one of these wines is a 100% Syrah from the Rhone Valley.
Oh.
One of these wines is a GSM from the Southern Rhone Valley.
Oh.
One of these vines is a Tempranillo blend from Rioja.
Lovely.
Okay. And the last wine that we will be experimenting with today is going to be a Bordeaux. I had to think about that for a second. So all of them, I did get the highest of the labeling on there. So we have a Reserve, we have some Grand Crus in there, and we do have the highest appellations on these types of labels.
Nice.
So I spent a little money on these because I really wanted us to taste where these origins came from. The best of the best.
Man, Michael and Erica is definitely missing out here.
Yeah, we will think about them while we're drinking this. So now what we're going to be doing is this is going to be what I actually studied when I was taking my WSET. Whenever you're doing your blind tasting, you have to go through a process. And this is something that goes all across the board whenever you're doing tastings in general. Some people just do wine shots. We were going to go ahead and skip that. We're going to go straight to making sure that we're drinking this properly.
Okay, wait a minute. So when we do this tasting, do we smell, sniff, taste, and spit?
We're not spitting.
Thank God.
That's I'm sorry, I don't see any spit buckets.
We are enjoying. That's what we're doing. We're not spitting. We are enjoying. So here we go. All right. So I'm going to have everybody grab that first glass of wine. So we're going to pick the green one. So what we are looking for are different things on the actual wine itself. And we're going to do this one by one with each of these wines. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is obviously the appearance. Okay. With appearance, we're looking for clarity, intensity, the color that we have in there. And then if you want to, you're also welcome to look at the legs or the tears, any type of deposits that are in there as well, because some of these wines are not filtered. Some people do not like filtration. Now, filtration most of the time have to use animal byproducts. And so they are not vegan or vegetarian. But some people like to just use fining, and they have the more of the aspect of the wine. So that's the appearance part, and then we'll go down. So first, appearance. We're going to look at it's the clarity. Okay. While you're looking at the clarity, you do want to dip your glass down at an angle. And using a white piece of paper does help quite a bit on looking at the color. Okay.
And if you're white like me,
then you glow in the dark. You just use your arm. You're like, oh, there it is. Now, what we're looking for is it clear or is it hazy? So what do y'all, this first one that we're looking at, is it clear? You can see straight through it, or is it a little bit
Is this where Jimi
hazy?
Hendrix comes the song with Purple Haze?
Definitely a purple haze.
So I would lean towards this is more of a hazy
Yes.
Yeah, for
wine,
sure.
right?
Definitely.
And then if you actually are taking it back up, you can kind of see the sediment coming out of it.
That's what I was noticing.
That's
Mhm.
what I was noticing also.
Okay.
I thought maybe it just had a dirty glass, but no, it was actually a sediment.
Mhm. No, we wash these glasses, I promise.
Everything.
Did you
No
wash
dirty
them?
glasses in this household.
We just cleaned. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about when it comes to the appearance is the intensity of the color. Now, with red wine, since we are drinking all red wine today, how you look at the intensity is you're going to look straight to the bottom and see if you can see the stem. If you cannot see the stem, it is going to be a deep color intensity.
This is a deep color intensity.
Okay?
Well, when I look at mine, though, it gives me a really intensity look.
It's giving you stink eyes.
Yeah.
She's staring back at me and I don't know why.
Into my soul.
Why are you knowing me? So how they actually with reds is pretty cool. So with the pale, medium, and deep color intensity is when you're looking into the glass. You are looking for that stem. And if you can't see the stem, it's going to be deep. If you can kind of see the stem, it'll be medium. If you can see the stem completely, fully on, it is a pale color wine. Now, this one in particular is going to be a deep color. So by that information alone, what can you tell me about this wine just by that information alone? Just by the color.
That it is very deep purple.
I looked around
So
at you. I was
close.
trying to figure out who's going to say it first.
Something about the skins.
It's got a lot of time with the skin
Yes.
on.
Okay, it could be that, or it's actually going to be a higher tannic wine.
Okay.
Okay.
I was
Deeper
thinking,
color is most likely going to have a little bit more of that color
Right.
aspect from the skin. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they probably did ferment this on skins.
It did or didn't?
Did.
I mean, all red wine's going to be,
Well, I mean, they've left it on there for quite some time.
yeah, it could be that, or it
Yeah.
could be that it's just a deep, dark, inky skin, or deepy skin, whatever. Okay, whatever. And moving on. We haven't had that much wine, I promise.
She's an inky one.
All right, now we're going to look at the color. So the colors are going to be purple, ruby, garnet, tawny, and brown. Brown and tawny are going to be more of your aged wines. Okay. So this color, whenever you're looking and thinking about purple is going to be more of your like younger. Ruby, you're going to have a little bit more age, whereas garnet is going to be deep, dark red, right?
Yep.
I would actually lean towards more of this being a garnet.
Yeah, this is definitely more.
It doesn't have that
garnety notes.
purpley, inky,
Right.
that kind of thing. This has more of it's aged a bit more. And then just a real quick look at the legs on this. We're looking at pretty low sugar on there. And if just kind of a happy reminder, the amount of legs you see is the sugar content. And the actual teardrop is your alcohol content. So the slower the drip, the higher the alcohol. And then the more the legs, the more the sugar. So if we're looking at kind of,
High sugar.
I would even
Like-
maybe, but this is definitely a high alcohol because my legs are not moving.
Yeah,
They're
mine-
just
mine
staying
are-
up there like,
Mine are
this is
just
where I
now-
live.
I mean, ZZ Top is just now playing.
Right. Exactly. And so it's going to have, just by that information alone, before you even smell it, before you taste it,
Mhm.
this is really good to know.
Right.
So we're going to know by that, just the sight and thinking about it, tannins are going to be probably a little bit higher. So we're going to taste that drier mouth, right? Sugar is going to be a little higher. So that means probably going to have a little bit more fruit.
Right.
So that's kind of fun. And then you're going to feel that alcohol. Boy, we're going to feel that alcohol. And I can't wait to find out how much alcohol is in this bevy. This is not the AVA, ABV.
I'm going to take a guess on the alcohol. I'm going to say it's 13%.
Well, we can guess afterwards. Okay. So the next part of our actual progression into tasting is our nose. And so we're going to do 4 different things. We're going to talk condition, intensity, aroma characteristics, and then development. Okay. So the condition of itself, is it clean or is it unclean? So whenever we're smelling, do we smell cork? Do we smell wet wood? Do we smell any of those things that are faults. So unclean is a fault. Okay. I'm not getting anything.
No.
So I would say this would be a clean wine. So there's no faults on this bad boy.
Yeah.
Intensity. Okay. Now, how you do intensity? We have pronounced, we have medium, and then we have light. So if you can smell the wine from about here, okay, so that's going to be around your chest area, okay? If you can smell it, that's going to be a pronounced aromas, okay? If you cannot smell it there, and you can smell it around your mouth and not all the way up to your nose, it's going to be more of a medium aromas. Now, there is a range. You have your medium plus and you have your medium minus. Medium minus means it's very light aromas, and medium plus is going to be closer to that full body smelling aromas.
So you just basically hold the glass kind of mid-chest height.
Chest,
smell,
chin, nose.
And that's kind of interesting because there are some people like myself who've had nasal cavity surgery.
Right.
So, y'all might be able to smell it at y'all's chest level. I won't be able to smell it till I get it right up on my nose.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter what.
Okay. So I'm not getting pronounced. I'm getting more medium. I would even say medium minus. Because it's not light. Because if I take it all the way up to my nose, I'm getting a lot of aromas immediately. And we're not going to go through the whole, what do you smell, blah, blah, blah. I want y'all just to teach y'all how to smell and taste and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that off the radio. Okay. So just the aromas itself, I would say this is going to be more of that medium intensity. Now, aromatic characteristics. You have your primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay. Primary is going to be your fruit, your seasons, anything growth, pretty much. So those notes, so if you're smelling more cherries, blackberries, apples, all those types of things, that's going to be your primary aroma. Okay. So then you have your secondary aromas, and that happens post-fermentation process of like the winemaking. So that's after fermentation happens, which is average about 2 weeks for fermentation, by the way. If you want to do it the fast process, if you want to do slow process, like 6 months. And I'll explain fast and slow in a second. So that process is oaking. So there are oak notes in a wine. And that can range from cedar, oak, all that type of stuff, all the way over to vanilla, cinnamon, coconut, toast, charred wood, smoke, chocolate, coffee, all those types of things. Now, white wine has another thing in itself. When it comes to oak, obviously the biggest one is going to be your butter, cheese, and cream. Everybody knows a buttered Chardonnay, right? But that's not always the case when it comes to white wines. You do get some other flavors off of white wines. Just experiment with that. But right now we're just talking about reds. All right. And then tertiary notes, it comes from aging and maturation of the actual wine. So how long you left it on the bottle. Now I have wines as old as 2012 in here, and I have wine as young as 2020. So we're going to have some wines that will have some aging and that maturation. Okay. And those come from like dried fruits. You also get some cool stuff like almond, hazelnut, walnut, chocolate, coffee, toffee, caramel, fig, prune, tar, blackberry, dried cranberry, cooked fruits, red plums, those types of things come from the development. Now, bottle age, you can get leather, forest floor, earth, mushroom, game, tobacco, vegetable, wet leaves, meaty, and farmyard.
Campfire.
Okay.
Camping sounds
so
like.
my curiosity is how does someone know what the forest floor tastes like, or how does someone know what tar tastes like? I mean, someone had to actually taste this, say, this is what it tastes like.
Yeah, but I think because your nose and your taste buds are so connected that sometimes you can get an idea of what it tastes like. Like whenever you're pumping the gas in your car, you can kind of assume what gas is going to taste like because of how strong it is.
So then in other words, like the forest floor, you're probably describing as a rain hitting the
Little
ground.
wet, yeah.
Okay.
Wet leaves, that's common. And so that type of thing. Now, a very common aged profile for mushroom is from Pinot Noir. So that is a very common and very wanted flavor from Pinot Noir if it's aged properly.
Age for self. Buy mushrooms. Put my Pinot Noir.
Bad.
So, would you want to pair those things with the same type? Like, would you want to pair a mushroom with a Pinot Noir, or you would want to take the opposite of that? Right?
Not necessarily. Like, whenever you're pairing wines, it's really personal. So it depends on how much bitter you can take is a big part of it. So if you drink black coffee, you're one of the easiest people to pair because everything tastes good with all the wine. To someone that drinks mainly a splash of coffee with their cream and sugar, that's going to be a little bit more intense. So they have that intensified taste buds. And there's no like, hey, there's some conflict in the wine industry on this always goes with this always goes with this. There's definitely some foods that will always go better with a certain type of style, but truly is all on your palate.
Right.
I think a big part of that. And you're just experimenting with it. Tasting salt before you have some wine, having a lemon before you have, and try to figure out where you lie on that type of profile in your palate. So, all right. So we're getting those smells, we're getting those notes and everything. Of those three, the primary, secondary, and tertiary, are you getting more primary, secondary, or tertiary? So are you getting more of the fruit? Or are you getting more oak, cedar, leather, dried berries, or that kind of stuff?
I'm definitely getting a berry. Most definitely a berry.
I'm getting more of the primary notes. So when we're smelling that, that's where we're talking about the development of the wine. So is it youthful? Is it developing, fully developed, or it's tired and past? So if it's a youthful wine, all you get is the primary. You're getting no secondary and no tertiary. With the developing, you get mainly primary and a little bit of secondary. With fully developed, you get the tertiary, primary. You get all of those types of things. When it's tired or past, all you taste is tertiary, and you're not tasting that youthful fruits. And the whole point of wine is we want to taste some of that fruit.
I think my wine is mature because it's just laying there. Because if it was young, it'd be doing cartwheels.
Oh boy. We'll get out.
I don't think I'm getting much of the developed, the tertiary.
Yeah, I'm getting more like this is definitely a youthful. I would say it's probably youthful or developing. Yeah. I would say probably it has some secondary. Yeah. Like I'm getting some kind of spices in there, but I'm not getting any big type of things. So very interesting. All right. Now we're going to do some sips. We're going to talk about palate. And when you're talking about palate, we're looking at certain things. So we're looking at sweetness, acidity, tannin, alcohol, and body. And then we'll talk about what is afterwards. So everybody just go ahead and take your first little sip. All right. So immediately, dry, off dry, medium dry, sweetness, any types of sweetness whatsoever.
No sweetness.
I would say this is a dry wine. I'm getting some tannins.
Right back in the cheekbone.
Yeah.
And right on the tip of the tongue. Right on the tip of my tongue.
But now my mouth is watering, so I'm thinking the acidity is pretty high on this. I would say it's either a medium plus or a high intensity of acidity. All right, tannins. We all kind of agree this is pretty high tannins, right? Yep. All right, let's do another little sip before we talk about the alcohol. Now, alcohol really hits at the back of your throat. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's going down your throat, that's going to be a fault in the wine. It's supposed to go down your throat, but I mean like burning sensation down your throat, okay? If it's burning down your throat, fault in the wine, FYI. But if it's just hitting in the back of your throat and it is kind of burning, it's going to have a little bit more alcohol. And I'm tasting... I could light a match and probably blow some fire right now. We're not going to do that. It's fine. No fire in the house, please. Now, do you consider this on the body itself light, medium, or full body? I'm still getting it.
I'm still tasting it a little bit.
I think it's kind of a medium plus, not all the way full, because it's
right
more
between medium and full.
It's just hitting straight down the middle of my tongue. It's not really hitting my cheeks or any of that kind of stuff on there.
That's true.
So interesting.
I think it's like right in between medium and full.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now the flavor intensity. When it comes to primary, secondary, and tertiary, what are we getting? Pronounced flavors off of it? Are we getting medium, or are we getting light flavors? It's pretty pronounced. Like I'm getting cherry slapped in the face. Mm-hmm. Cherry, strawberry, like jam strawberries.
I was getting a little bit of like raspberry-ish.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of raspberry. Yeah, it has a little bit of that tartness.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, maybe this is definitely a higher acidity.
Tastes like fresh stewed cranberry, not like canned or sweetened.
Right. This is Thanksgiving in a glass. So really interesting on that. So needy. And then, so are we getting more primary, secondary, tertiary notes off of it? Are we getting more fruit? I'm getting mainly fruit.
Yeah.
I'm hardly getting any oak on this whatsoever. No. I'm not getting, I might get a little bit of spice, maybe a little bit of white pepper.
I'm not getting either one of those.
Interesting.
Now you just did like almost like a gargle in there.
I did.
Why would you? Tell the folks why would you do that?
Because I like pain. No. So that is actually a wine tasting technique. You want to swish it all around your mouth so you can get all of your under taste buds that are under your tongue to get the bitterness, and it coats your mouth completely. You want to coat your mouth so that you can taste the wine. It will always taste different than your first taste.
Interesting.
So you always coat your mouth. And it will change, but you can tell that has high tannins. Like it is all in my gums right now. And gums hit that whenever it hits your gums, that's your tannins. Acidity is going to be on your tongue, and then your alcohol is in the back of your throat.
Yeah, I've never thought to put wine under my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never have either.
But I don't tell anybody that it sucks, because you just get heavy bitter notes off of it, and certain wines have higher bitter than others. And so my coffee drinkers, like I was saying, if it's black coffee, you can probably satisfy and be okay. But my people that drink hardly any black coffee whatsoever and mainly splash, this is going to hurt. This is not going to be a fun thing. All right. So the finish on this, short, medium, or long finish. I'm still getting it in my mouth. Yeah. I'm saying medium plus to longer. So now that we've kind of dissected this wine, we're going to talk about the conclusion. So the quality level, do you feel like it has any type of faults to it? It's a poor quality, it's acceptable, good, very good, or outstanding. Now, how you grade that is the balance of the wine. So did it smell? Did it have that alcohol? Did it have that sugar? Whenever you tasted it, did it balance? So whenever people are like, oh, I only drink this, they're missing out on the balance of the wine. And that's what we're doing whenever we're dissecting wine to grade it, is checking out the balance. Does it have, so I saw high alcohol and a little bit more of that sugar. I saw intensity in the color. Is it balanced to that? Is it smelling like it's fruit forward? All those types of things. It is tasting fruit forward. So I tasted and I smelled a lot of that primary notes. I tasted primary notes. So if I smelled something, and probably everyone has done this, I have 100% done that. You smell one thing and you taste another. Yep. That is an unbalanced wine. So this is, I would say, either a very good or an outstanding wine, because it is quite balanced. There's not a lot that you're having that faults from.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to agree with you on that.
And then level of readiness to drink for potential. Is it too young? Because sometimes wine can be too young. It could be like, it needs a little bit more aging. Can you drink it now, but has potential for aging? Drink out, not suitable for aging. It's just perfect how it is. It's ready to go, or it's too old. Now, because of the high acidity and the high tannins in this, I think this is ready to drink now or to age.
Yes.
Easy over 10 years.
I agree with you on that. I think it needs to sit a little bit longer, maybe.
But I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous wine. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to find out what this one is. So,
Indeed.
all right. Does that make sense on the tasting?
Makes
It does.
clear
Okay.
as mud.
So that we broke that down. Now we're going to do the other two. Now, from that information, so we know we have a Syrah. We know we have a GSM. So that's your Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre.
Mhm.
We know I have a Tempranillo, and we know we have a Bordeaux. What do we think the green label wine is today
If I had
from
to,
that
just
information?
from that initial, I'm going to go with a 10.
A temp?
I was going to say this, either a
Okay.
temp or a GSM, but I
So
think
we're going to
temp.
say green is a temp.
Now, you didn't cheat on this.
No,
before
he
I
had
have
no idea.
Clue.
Okay.
Not a clue what's in what.
All right, we're going to go to red now. We're going to go this a little bit quicker. All right, people at home, get your bottle. Here we go.
Round 2.
Round 2, fight. Tell us we all grew up in the 80s without telling us we all grew up in the 80s. All right, clarity. How are we looking at this bad boy? Is it clear? Is it hazy? I'm seeing a little bit of haze, but not nearly as much as that other one.
Right.
I feel like this is pretty filtered pretty well.
Yeah. I can definitely tell it's been filtered because
Mhm.
I mean you can just
It's crystal.
yeah, it's crystal.
Whereas that one was just hanging on to all of the
I don't see any sediment on this.
yeah,
one,
no
but,
sediment. Yeah. All right, intensity of color. Look in the glass. This is almost darker than the other, but I can kind of see reflection.
Just barely.
Yeah. On the color, I'm thinking this is more of a ruby or a purple almost.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Let's look at those legs.
She's got legs.
I'm seeing less legs and a little bit lower on the alcohol. It's going pretty quick.
So
It
I
seems
want to add a observation to this as well.
I'm ready.
So I noticed that the legs are clear
Mm-hmm.
and they're not red.
Correct.
Why is that?
There's two reasons. One, it is a very low on the inkiness of the wine.
Okay.
So there's a few wines that are going to have more of that color from it. Petit Verdot, Tannat, Teraldigo, Graciano. Those are all going to be inky grapes.
Okay.
The other reason is a little old thing called dye. Mega purple, mega red. There are times that people will add in the color to help quicken the process.
Okay.
Or they want to make a consistency of the wine. So they, with a mega purple, mega red, it will increase the tannins. It will increase your flavor. Now, a lot of people believe that they're allergic to tannins where they're actually allergic to the dye. I thought for the longest time that red wine just did not like me. It wasn't the case. I was actually allergic to the dyes. I got really bad rashes on my face, my ears, and I would have the worst hangovers of my life. And so it might be the dye, just
Interesting.
FYI. But
Interesting.
there is nothing wrong with people using the dye. It will not hurt you. There's just some
It is food safe.
it is food safe. But the biggest question I get from people, especially when I do tell them about the dyes that are in wine sometimes, are how can you tell it's dyed? It doesn't show on the bottle, unfortunately. FDA has not said anything about dye is not right for your wines, all those types of things. But when it comes to picking it out, the biggest indication is, are your lips, your teeth, or your tongue turning red pretty quickly?
Right.
If it turns pretty quick, it's most likely dyed. It's not really supposed to be turning that quickly. Now,
Right.
if it is an inky wine, it's going to happen. You're
Yeah.
going to have that types
Sure.
of things. Or if you're having a full bottle of wine, yeah, you're probably going to have that type of flavoring and coloring on your mouth. But so yeah, good point. All right. All right. On the nose, I'm not getting any type of wet wood, or not wet wood, but like wet cardboard or burning or any of that type of stuff. So
I've sniffed this like 3 times now. The first time I got like chalky smell. And the little bit more I smelled of it, that chalky turned to like blueberries.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I think the aroma intensity is about the same. I think it's about a medium, but more medium minus, I guess. So it's a little bit lighter on the aromas.
I feel like I'm kind of getting either tobacco or maybe some leathery.
So on the primary, secondary, and tertiary notes, what are we looking for? Are we looking that it's more? I'm still getting fruit.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a whole lot more of that secondary and tertiary for sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot more leather, a little bit of sweet tobacco off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I can get that smell. I keep smelling blueberries. I mean, like
I can kind of, I got a lot of that blueberry as well, but it's very complex. It has some nice complex of it. Okay. Words are hard. Today we sponsored day. Anyways, okay, so by the aromas, I think this is either developing or fully developed because you're getting all three of those. Yeah. So I probably lean towards more fully developed.
Yeah,
right. All right, so let's sip away. Ooh, that's dry.
Mm-hmm.
But acidity is a little bit lower. It's not nearly as acidic as the other one. Mm-mm. Maybe medium-ish, medium plus. Tannins are lower too. Are you getting into tannins at all?
Well, it's interesting. I get this, and it's only on certain wines that I get this, especially when it's this dry. Mm-hmm. I get this tingling feeling on the tips of my tongue.
No, I don't get that. You're special. That's why.
I know. My mom always tells that to me too.
Yes. Well, she gave you your helmet and walked away. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I feel like the tannins are, maybe it's a little bit higher than I'm thinking. Maybe the acidity is masked by the tannins, and that's why I'm.
It doesn't give me that dry feeling, that feeling in my mouth that I did from the first one.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely, when it hits my mouth, I mean, I go cotton mouth immediately.
Yeah.
But shortly right after that, I mean, I start salivating.
Right. Interesting. And then alcohol. I'm feeling like this is a little bit lower on the alcohol.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm thinking 11.
Yeah. So we're going to say low alcohol in this one. Mm-hmm. On the body, light, medium, or full. I feel like this is more medium to light almost.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, yeah, it's not hanging off or anything. And the best way, I actually should have explained this a little bit. Best way to kind of figure out if it's a light or a medium or a full body wine is think of it like milk, how full, like whole milk stays in your tongue for a long period of time. It's going to be, you feel it all over, it chills, like it gives you a coating, right? Mm-hmm. So that's going to be your fuller body wine. Whereas light body is kind of like skim. It just flies off, tastes almost like water. Okay. Makes sense? Mm-hmm. Doesn't linger. 2% medium.
I can't say anything. I haven't drank milk in like 10 years.
Oh, no.
So.
You can remember it when you were 10 years ago.
No.
Okay. Well, anyways, moving on. All right. Are we feeling like this is more of a light, medium, or pronounced flavor intensity?
I'm going to say either a light or a medium.
Yeah. I would say more medium. Yeah, medium minus. Medium. Because I'm not getting a lot of flavor.
Right.
Right? On the primary, secondary, and tertiary, I'm getting a little bit of everything, but not as pronounced.
Yeah.
Okay. Where the aroma and the palate are not as balanced. This is what I'm talking about when you're talking about the balances. Okay. The finish, short, medium, or long finish. Do you still tasting it after a while, or are you not tasting it?
I'm still tasting it afterwards. Definitely tasting it after a while.
I feel like the green one was a little bit more flavor appeasing, if that makes sense, to my own palate. Whereas this one is like, it's a mix between very ripe cherries, blueberries, and then you're getting this really interesting tertiary earth off of it.
I'm getting some like minerally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like said like a chalk or like
Yeah.
rock.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Licking rocks over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So the quality of the wine, poor, faulty, acceptable, good, very good, outstanding. I would say is between acceptable and good.
I wouldn't kind of say acceptable. I would definitely would say acceptable.
And I think this is.
I think
I don't know. I haven't really decided.
I think it's good just the way it is.
Yeah.
If you had a good steak going on with it,
Tacos.
been,
I'd see tacos with this.
What kind of tacos?
I'm hungry.
Brisket. Guess we know what we're eating tonight.
Can we change it to carne asada?
Ooh, I
There
like
you
that.
go.
Yep.
With-
Let's do that.
Yeah, with a little bit of red peppers in it.
We have a really good Mexican food restaurant out here. So, by the way,
As long as you're cooking,
he didn't
Well,
bring
I
me
didn't come
stuff.
prepared for that.
Well,
Next
you should be
time.
prepared
Yes, in our bunker underneath the oak tree.
Yeah.
All right. So we're saying that it's either drink now
Yeah, it's a drink now.
and not really aging anymore.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So, on that note, what do we think red is? We already said green was Tempranillo. So we have Syrah, we have the GSM, and we have the Bordeaux.
I'm going to say GSM.
You think this is the GSM?
Mm-hmm.
Both y'all think GSM? Okay.
Yep.
So we're saying this is a GSM.
Which probably means we're totally wrong.
She's over there saying, idiots.
She's like,
Do it again.
wow.
Try one more time. Wink, wink. All right. So we're gonna go to number yellow.
Should we eat a cracker to?
Yeah,
clear
we
your
probably
palate?
should clear our palates.
Folks at home, when you're going between them, try having a little cracker, something a little drier. It'll help clear your palate up.
All I was thinking is this is sponsored by Ritz.
Brought to you by Dry Crackers, the crackers you always ate as a kid.
Oh boy.
Or if you don't have any crackers, this is brought to you in part by Pure Life Water.
Oyster crackers, that's what works.
Oyster
well.
crackers.
Yes.
Those are great. Yeah.
Which I have no idea
Soup
why
crackers.
they call them oyster crackers. That's a whole other topic.
Because of the
Because
size
they
of the
look like
oyster.
oysters.
Do they?
Mhm.
Yes.
If you ever actually shucked an oyster before,
Once, yeah, but that's all.
Oh,
was
shucks.
Was it painful in your memory? Because that's why you don't remember it.
I probably.
That's why I went vegetarian for 5 years.
That's a very good point. I think it scarred me for a long time.
All right, here we go. Number yellow. All
Number
right,
yellow one.
appearance.
I can already tell you this one right here. This is the one that baffles me because it smells like pencil shavings.
You can just see by the color alone, it's definitely got some age to it,
Mhm.
right? All right, so clear or hazy. I'm thinking this is pretty clear.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
I'm
Well,
not
let's,
seeing any
compare-
type of
I can
sediment
see my
whatsoever.
fingers.
Yeah, intensity. This is pretty pale. I would say this
Mhm.
is kind of a, compared to the other two, it's definitely more pale.
Yeah.
Right. On the color, this is kind of leaning towards that tawny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're getting more of that browning coming out of it. And so,
Yep.
I don't remember which one I got of the 2012, but I think this is the 2012 by just the color. If I'm wrong, I'm going back to school.
And I can, tell you that, I can also tell you that the alcohol content is very low on this one because the legs are like coming down very rapidly.
See, yours is doing that. I don't see. Maybe it's going too fast.
Yeah, my legs just were there once I swirled. I swirled.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to do some.
It's like throwing a pickle on the window.
I'm
Ew.
sorry, throwing a pickle at a
Oh, that is some weird. Okay, there we go. Now I got legs. Okay, now all right. Now you said that. Now I'm seeing my legs because I just kind of let it sit
Yeah.
there on my glass. No, this is inching.
Yeah.
It's not going. But I think the first one we had definitely had more alcohol.
Well, I will say this: that the minute I stop, I mean, I got legs like immediately. Like
Yeah.
I could see tons of them.
Yeah. Okay. So we're leaning towards that bad boy. All right. The nose.
Pencil shavings.
I would say this is more of a light to medium minus on that smell intensity.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, to me, it's pretty intense. I mean,
And this is definitely more secondary notes.
I mean, to me, I mean, I get a lot of pencil shavings, a lot of gravelly smell.
Yeah, it's very much of that minerality.
So I will have to make this one little comment about my nasal stuff is gonna be a little bit different than everybody else, because I had about probably 12, 15 years ago, I had nasal cavity surgery. So it kind of jacked up my
your
smell.
aromas and everything. Yeah.
So
your sensor.
Sometimes some of the stuff that I smell, you may not smell the same.
Right.
And what you might think is really intense to me may not be intense. What might be intense to me might not be to you.
Right.
This smell right here is very intense to me. Like, it's very heavy, smelling like pencil shavings and gravel.
Right. So we're going to say more of that tertiary, secondary notes anyways. Mm-hmm. Now, I am getting a little bit of fruit, but the fruit is aged for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
It's definitely that.
So I would say this is a fully developed wine.
Yeah.
All right. Sip away.
I mean, I could already tell you what this wine is already just by tasting it.
What?
I think it's a Bordeaux.
The Bordeaux?
Yeah, the Bordeaux. Yeah.
Just going to skip everything and just go straight to Bordeaux?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely taste it. I mean, there's sometimes, there's some bottles of wine you can taste. You can say, oh, yeah, this is definitely a Tempranillo. Yeah, this is definitely a Syrah or whatever. This one, I could taste that.
Interesting. All right, so dry, we know. Acidity, low, medium, high. I'm think this is pretty low. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I'm watering. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of. Yeah, no, this is actually high acidity. I'm just kidding. It's but the tannins are low. The tannins are stupid low.
Yeah, the tannins are really low because I'm not cotton mouth.
Yeah, not at all.
But I definitely get that acidity. That like I just had a big pickle in my mouth.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You and the pickles.
He does his whole.
Just throwing them at the house. Now you're eating them.
You never threw pickles at the window as a kid?
No, I can say I definitely did never throw pickles. I think
he's also from the north.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What? It's true. We threw snowballs. We didn't throw pickles.
That's true. We saw snowballs on TV.
Those were not snowballs that they were throwing.
Oh, okay. Stop. Anyways, alcohol. More medium, a little bit lower.
Super, not high.
I'm gonna say the alcohol in this is probably 11-ish.
Maybe 12.
Yeah, 12-ish.
Mm-hmm. Body, more medium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm getting it everywhere. Maybe a little bit of medium plus.
Yeah.
And then on the flavor intensity, light, medium, or pronounced, it's pretty pronounced. Like I'm getting it.
Yeah. It's still sticking with me.
But it's more tertiary and secondary notes, right? You're getting more of the oaking and the jamminess and the aged of the wine.
Definitely getting the full on jamminess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I just ate some plum jelly.
Yeah.
Or grape jelly.
Right.
Yeah. No pun intended on that.
That's been dropped in a pencil box.
Oh jeez.
And gravel.
And gravel.
This is interesting.
And add some alcohol to it.
We had different childhoods.
Yes, you did. All right, and then on the finish, this is pretty long.
Yeah,
I'm still tasting it right now, and I mean,
I could do that when you breathe in and you kind of do that swallow. You still have it back there.
I'm getting almost like a mintiness.
Yeah.
Are you getting that mint? Like if you breathe in, I'm getting a little bit like a gum mint almost.
It feels like I've been drinking alcohol.
Interesting. That's really weird.
I mean, I
don't know why.
That's kind of interesting that you said mint, because I mean, I take a deep breath and I definitely tell I've been drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see. Definitely. Yeah. Now is it a spearmint?
That's wintergreen.
Or wintergreen.
Mm-hmm.
Or peppermint.
Maybe almost medicinal.
Like Andes.
I would say it's more medicinal.
Not Andes, what York peppermint patty?
I don't know, northerner. Love you.
Someone's not getting my Klondike bar.
Okay, anyways.
Edit that.
This podcast has taken a turn. All right, level of quality. All right, we're looking at faulty, poor, acceptable, good, very good, outstanding. I would say probably about good, very good, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pretty, but I think it is not suitable for aging anymore. I think it's drinking ready now.
And I think it'll be really great with a big salmon steak.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying this is Bordeaux?
Yes.
Are you agreeing, Mr. Randall?
Sure.
All right. Last but certainly not least. Here we go.
I'm really getting that mint now that you mentioned it.
I can't not have it.
I
definitely need a cracker for this one.
Pardon us while we cracker.
Drink some water.
Talk amongst yourselves at home.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Be sure and share with us on our Facebook page what your flavors were.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Or even share with us what you're drinking.
Yeah, tell us what everybody's drinking.
Take some pictures of them and share them on the Facebook page. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we have any type of we like to know where you like to drink. Number one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If we've been having, have we done a podcast at your favorite winery? Is there a winery that you love that we haven't done yet? If you know the owners or the winemaker or a little minion that belongs there, let us know. And so we can reach out to them and talk to them, because we're wanting to do every single one of these wineries out in Texas, and we got a lot of ground to go, but and I'm excited for the future.
And what's really great is we're coming to the end of the year. And we got a whole new year coming up, and we got all new people, all new wineries we want to go hit up and stuff.
There's a lot.
Yes, there is a lot.
But we want to spotlight your favorite place.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So here we go.
All right, so
last but not least, number blue. All right. Clarity. Don't be sipping on it yet, guys. Come on. Focus.
I smelled it just.
Okay. All right. We're looking at clear. I'm not seeing any type of thing on there. I'm not seeing any sediment. It's not hazy. It is clear.
This is clear.
I would say this is a medium to deep intensity color. I can kind of barely see the stem, but very, very, very low. Color. I'm thinking this is more of a garnet.
Right,
yeah, because it's going to that tawny colors for sure. All right. Now, how are our legs? Oh, this is going to be high alcohol.
Yeah.
The rest of this episode will be us drunk. We apologize.
That's slurring my words. That's mean.
It's a 2-hour episode. Sorry, guys.
Actually, we were sitting at 1 hour and 52 minutes.
Oh, geez. There will be some cut time on there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're looking at a pretty decent amount of legs on there. So it's going to have some decent sugar. We're going to look at, I would say probably a medium alcohol. It's still kind of up there and everything. So interesting.
I'm going to make this comment on the smell.
Okay.
And you're going to think I'm weird, but if you've never smelt it before, you won't understand it. But you know how when you have the hot summer days, or let's say in the early spring when it starts getting kind of hot, and then it has that rain and you can smell the rain. Yeah. But if you're actually around a plum tree when it's starting to bud for the plums, and the rain hits that, and you're standing right by that, and I'm only describing this because I've done this before.
Yeah.
Because my grandmother's neighbor behind her always had tons of plum trees, and you can smell the plum. You can smell the rain, but you can smell the plums as well. That's actually what I'm smelling out of this, and it literally took me back as a kid. I mean, it literally took me back to as a kid thinking about those plum trees as a kid.
Aww.
I love memory and smell are so
it's
weirdly
so
tied.
Combined.
Yeah,
it is so I mean, like, there are some wines that I smell and I'm like, oh, that's the candies that my grandmother used to have in her purse. Like, you just remember that. Well, and then you remember that one time you're like, oh, I definitely sat on that when I was a kid, and that melted in my butt, and so it was weird.
Well, it also reminds me of that plum jelly that we made that year. We made that one particular year, these plum trees were so full of plums that it almost killed the tree, and we picked so much plums that year. We picked probably, I want to say probably 7 or 8 5-gallon buckets of plums, and there were still plums on that tree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I was telling all my friends to go by the trees and just grab plums and eat them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. So we're looking at probably a light to medium minus intensity of the aromas. I'm getting primary, secondary, and tertiary. I think this is a fully developed wine.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
All right, tasting. Here we go. Very dry. Yeah. Holy cow.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean,
that's tannic and dry.
Yes.
Acidity, probably about medium. Not really medium minus. I wouldn't say it's low because I'm definitely salivating afterwards. Alcohol, higher.
Yeah. I could definitely say on the tannins. This is weird. On some of the wines, not all of them, when they're hot tannins, right in the back, right where my tongue is, I feel like there's something stuck there. You know how sometimes you eat something and it gets stuck to that weird back spot.
Right.
That's the way it feels right now for me.
It has high bitter.
Yeah. So I have to sit there and I'm kind of like, trying to clear it away.
Right.
And then you realize that there's nothing really there.
It's just sitting. It's just hanging out. Hi there. Okay. On the alcohol, about medium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The body of it, I would say medium plus, kind of that higher but not full bodied on there yet.
Yeah.
And then flavor intensity. Do we say this is a more of a light, medium, or pronounced flavors? I'm getting kind of that medium-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting a little bit of the flavor, but it's not as complex as the ones that we've had earlier.
I agree with you on that. Yeah.
It's at the very beginning, it's got a good bold flavor, but then it dissipates quickly.
Yeah. And then are we getting more of that primary, secondary, tertiary? I'm getting a little bit more secondary.
And so here's something else that's a little crazy. You ever ate wild plums?
You are loving plums right
You
now.
are.
I have not.
So my grandmother in her yard, she had some wild plums. So they're not like the big plums, big purple plums. They're a little tiny, almost like look like a cherry.
Okay.
And they're really, really tart, but they have a sweetness to them. Sometimes too sweet is almost tart.
Right.
That's why they were. And so when I taste it at first, the first time it hits the palate, I get that flavor. And it reminds me of, as a kid, eating those off my grandmother's tree. But then toward the end of it, I get a more like a strawberry-ish type finish off of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy. And it could also be that what I ate previously.
Right.
So, I mean, it could be like just a weird thing, but I definitely could taste
I just had that memory of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
Yeah,
it definitely has a lot of plumbing to it.
Yeah, but I would say like almost not jammy, but like in the process of making it a jam. Does that make sense?
Yep. Stewing.
Yes, the stewing of the fruit to make the jam.
But then I am getting cedar. I'm getting a lot of cedar. And then I'm getting black pepper. It's really, there's something about it that's, I can't figure out, I can't put my tongue on it.
So what was the last wine that we had that we're tasting here? So
we were saying that was the Bordeaux, the last one. But I will tell you what it is in a second.
Well, yeah, I know, but you said there was 4 wines that you.
Oh, Syrah.
Ooh.
Do you think this is the Syrah?
One we haven't picked yet. Yeah.
Do you think this is the Syrah?
Can I call a lifeline?
Nope.
Can I speak down a little bit of the stem of the bottle?
But to finish off, we got to finish this. So on the finish, I mean, I'm getting a little bit on a longer finish off of it.
Yes.
I feel like it's a good wine. I do feel like there's a little bit of a fault on the mouth. But not much. Like it's I can only taste it because I drink a lot.
You heard it here first there, buddy.
Yeah, like they didn't know. Please. But I would say this is a good wine. And then I'm feeling like it's drink now, not suitable for aging.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. All right. So are we satisfied with our choices?
Man, now that
life choices or wine choices?
I want. So we're gonna say the last one's Syrah.
I think let's go with it. I mean, because if we don't, that means we have to rethink all of the previous ones, and that's going to be another 3 hours.
Yeah, we don't have that much time on there.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be prepared to unbag your wines.
Oh, jeez. All right. So green was our Bordeaux. Okay.
No way.
Yep. This is our 2016 Bordeaux. It is higher on the Merlot, so it's going to be more right bank. It's 84% Merlot, Cab Franc, and then Cabernet Sauvignon. So very typical Bordeaux.
Now, when she said the Merlot on it,
You're tasting that.
I could taste it now. I could feel it in the
because and this is why I like doing blind tastings because people automatically assume. All right, so green Bordeaux.
So that means everything else we got now is all wrong.
All right, red. Here we go. So red, we said that it was the GSM, and red is the Syrah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, see, I knew the minute we got that first one wrong, every
But
other
this
one.
is also one of the youngest ones in here. So this is a 2020, and that's you can just see by the color alone. That so that is the Syrah. Red was the Syrah from where's this from? Hermitage.
Okay.
Which is a region in Rhone. Okay.
And that was the one that I thought was like smoky.
Which Syrah has some smoky notes for sure.
Wow.
All right, yellow we said was the Bordeaux, which we clearly know it wasn't.
Yep, that's with the Tempranillo.
This is the Tempranillo.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is also the oldest one that I got. So this is a Reserva. So it's a type of labeling that they do over in Spain. It's a 2012.
Wow.
Interesting.
So, and then I will also tell you all the alcohol content after I tell everything. So the blue one is the GSM, which means it had Syrah in there. And it's from the Châteauneuf-du-Pape.
So we got part of it, Rod.
We
Good
did.
part.
I feel like, we failed miserably. That's what it is.
But you know, when I drink a GSM,
Yeah.
I get that feeling like we just had this raw.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that feeling every time, and so it's just kind of weird.
All right. So the alcohol on each of these, because we were talking about how that first one was higher alcohol for sure.
It says don't ask.
14.5.
I call that one.
That makes sense.
All right. And then the Syrah, we said, was a higher or medium? We said it was a little higher, but it was lower than the first
I
one.
called it about 11.
13.5.
Wow.
The Tempranillo. Where are you? It does not say.
Well,
I'll get back to you. It was no alcohol. It's actually free.
Yay.
It is a virgin wine.
That would really suck. That's why it was going so fast.
Wow.
It's supposed to have it. It does not have that on there. It's very interesting. Am I missing something? Oh, here it is. 14.5. There we go.
Okay.
Wow.
That was a lot higher than I thought. And then Châteauneuf-du-Pape is going to be
Can you say that again?
Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So it's a wine growing region in southern Rhone for the popes. It's pop.
Yes.
Interesting.
Little fun facts.
Love fun facts.
15%.
Wow. The popes like their.
Oh, they like their alcohol.
They like their ABV.
No wonder I'm feeling kind of fuzzy.
So that was our little fun blind tasting. As you see that we got all of them incorrect, which is totally fine. But this is all about being fun and
Yeah.
just really learning about wines and trying
Yeah.
to figure out like, hey, you know what? I like this or not like this or whatever. I think we all decided that we really liked the first one, right?
Mhm.
And so that was funny enough. Your Bordeaux, which then you have that heavy Merlot in there and everything. But followed that, I really did like the red was pretty good too. I mean, all of them, all around, was pretty good. So.
Yeah, I think it was good. I think I liked them all, and I enjoyed doing that. That's fun. We'll have to do some more. We have to do some more of those.
And honestly, what you need to also do if you're at home is get the same grape from different regions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to get a Tempranillo from Texas, get a Tempranillo from Spain.
Yep.
Get a Tempranillo from California. Do a blind tasting of those things and try to figure out if you can pinpoint all those different types.
Right.
And figure out where they're all from. So it's a lot of fun.
It's awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Well, definitely want to thank you for the education there.
Of course.
That was definitely a learn, and you'll definitely post all this on the Facebook page.
on the Facebooks.
Yes, on the Facebooks.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank Jen for doing this episode. It's really great to learn stuff. Again, this is the whole reason why we did this podcast, to help learn. Because we all want to learn a little bit more about the wines that we drink.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to thank Randall being here also.
Well, thank you. This has been a lot of fun. Listen, I learned so much. I married her.
I thought she threatened you.
Okay. Who are we talking to?
So this is just, it's just been a great episode.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, this is Will.
And this is Jen.
And this is Randall.
And this is We Know Texas Vino.
Cheers.